In August 2018, a small company called ANKI released a home robot called Vector. Soon after Vector's release, the company shut down and so did its servers. However, that issue was solved around now, maybe 2 years ago, by the community making your own server possible. However, when the company shut down, they sold all their assets, including a bunch of development prototype vectors, such as the P1, P2, P3, DVT1, DVT2, DVT3, DVT4, and Whiskey, and PVT, of course. Those were all dev robots, allowing them to have any software flashed to them and be infinitely configurable and editable. This guide will explain how to convert your production vector robot into a development vector robot. No, not you, Vector. I must, however, issue the warning that this process can be quite dangerous for your vector and... no, not you again. And may cause your vector to be bricked, damaged, or completely broken. This process involves replacing Vector's main processing unit, or CPU, with another one of the same CPU in a process called BGA rework, and then connecting wires to Vector's motherboard to erase his security partition, flash a signing code to his ABOOT partition, and flash a full dumped firmware to his CPU. This guide will not go over how to replace the CPU, but rather will go over how to perform the software side of things, like flashing the various things you need to flash onto him to get him to be unlocked. This process can also be quite tricky, especially if you're on Windows. However, this guide is specifically for Linux users. So if you're on Windows, sorry, someone might make a guide later for you guys. So you just replaced the CPU on your Vector's motherboard. You might have gotten that done yourself, or you might have gotten someone else to do it for you, as it is a very complex operation. But here it is. This is the motherboard of Vector. It's very small and very delicate. Here's the screen and the camera, and on the back there's the CPU and the memory. And this is the speaker. First thing to note is that you do not want to connect and power on your Vector at the moment. This will cause the fuse to burn inside a Vector and you'll become bricked. So whatever you do not power on Vector on this stage. Now what we need to do is to connect a few wires to his body, linking to a pin which outputs around 2 volts to the FUSB pin next to the bodyboard connector. Then we need to connect a few wires that will be connected to a USB cable, a chopped up USB cable to be exact. I have one right here. And those wires need to be connected to the right wires on the USB cable to correspond with them. And you need to connect data negative, data positive, 5 volt, and ground. So you're going to want to connect that little point on that component there to the pad labeled FUSB next to the bodyboard connector. This will prevent Vector from booting up and make him go into something called EDL mode. Be very careful when soldering to the little component thing, because that can short with the component thing next to it and cause a bit of trouble. What I usually do is use a little bit of wire connecting those two pads, and yeah, as minimal solder as possible. There, that's one end of the wire connected. Right over here. Sorry for the really blurry pictures, this camera is not meant for macro shots. There, FUSB is now connected to 2 volts. Next, you're going to want to make one of these, which is a piece of female sockets connected to some wires, 4 female sockets connected to 4 wires to be exact, and we're going to solder those wires to data negative, data positive ground at 5 volt on the vector motherboard, according to this picture provided by Wire. By the way, all of these pictures and detailed instructions on how to do so will be in the guide linked below. So now we're going to want to connect our USB cable with male sockets to our cables with female sockets that we're going to solder onto vector to line up to see which one is which color on the USB cable. So I'm just going to line them up. Oh, this is so difficult with one hand. And plug them in like so. Now they're plugged in. And now if we look closely into this USB behind this Kapton tape, we can see in fact that this top wire is 5 volt, this bottom wire is ground, and these middle wires are the data wires. I'm going to provide a better picture so you guys can see this. So now we want to solder that 5 volt cable to that little pin above this bodyboard connector and connect 5 volt to Vector's motherboard. There we go, the first wire is now connected. Next we want to do ground, which is the bottom wire of this cable, this one here. It doesn't help that they're all red, I know, but I didn't have any other wires. So yeah, let's connect that one now. And we're going to connect that bottom wire to the pad labeled ground right next to where we connected the 2.2 volts. There we go, that one's connected now too. We're halfway there for the data cables. I mean the USB. Yeah, same thing. Close enough. So now we need to connect the positive and negative data wires. So this one appears to be the white wire, which we're going to connect to data negative. Data negative and data positive are at the very bottom here of the board on the bottom left corner, so this should be pretty easy. Okay, so now we've connected the data negative to the white wire over here in the corner. So let's connect the last one, which goes to data positive, which is the green wire, the USB cable. Okay, so we've connected all the wires, and now we're ready to connect the board to our Linux computer. So first, boot up your Linux computer. Just about any Linux computer will do. This is a Raspberry Pi 4. And open your EDL or navigate to the terminal where you have your EDL tool open. So for me, that's Beckler's EDL tool. Any EDL tool will actually do, but I prefer Beckler's EDL tool because it is the most stable one in my experience. So I'm going to cd to the EDL directory. Okay, I'm in the EDL directory. And now we are ready to plug our Vector motherboard into the computer. So we grab our Vector motherboard very carefully so none of the wires detach. Move it over to the USB connector. Sorry, my filming skills are really bad. This is like my first in real life video. And we carefully plug it in. Nothing should happen. That's normal. No lights should go on. No smoke, nothing. That indicates that everything's okay. Don't worry. So now you head over back to your computer. Don't unplug your Vector. And you're going to want to erase the security partition. To do that, you're going to type EDL, then space, then E, then space, then sec, S-E-C. Now we press enter. It says that it's connected. And it's done. It has erased the security partition of our Vector. After that, we want to write ankidev-nosigning.mbn to ABOOT. To do that, we're going to do EDL space W space ABOOT space ankidev-nosigning.mbn. I'll have links to all these commands and as well as the official guide on how to do this in the description. Press enter. Now it's gonna write. Done. Now here comes the harder part. Well, not harder necessarily, just this takes a while, especially on a Raspberry Pi 4. We're gonna flash the DVT3 dump to our vector. So to do that, we're gonna write EDL space WF space wire -dvt3-11-26-24.bin. Then when we press enter, it should begin. This is going to take a while because, well, it's quite a large file. It's almost a gigabyte. And yeah, we just have to wait for it to finish. Wait patiently, don't do anything, don't press anything, don't wiggle your vector around, please. And yeah. Another important thing to mention is that the official guide does not state how to dump or how to transfer this dump onto your newly soon to be unlocked vector. This is something you have to do, otherwise you won't be able to flash custom software to it. However, for some reason it is still not stated in the guide. So here it's done flashing. We can now unplug our vector motherboard from our computer. And, well, turn off my computer in this case. Yeah, there, done. And we are now ready to desolder all these wires and connect. Well, you don't have to desolder the USB wires. You can keep them on to for later debugging or flashing, but you have to desolder the FUSB to 2-volt wire. Otherwise, you'll be always stuck in EDL mode. So yeah, that's it. So here I've desoldered all those wires. We can now connect it to our vector, and we'll connect it to our vector's body. This is still technically the vector, and power it on. Okay, he's connected and powering on. This usually takes a while the first time after. Yep, you can see the ANKI dev message on the screen, and now he's going to show the custom ANKI boot animation. Perfect. We wait for him to boot. There. Slowly booting up. And we should be greeted with a 920 error message. Yep, perfect. So what we're gonna do now is connect vector to our home Wi-Fi and run an update and reset his user data, and that will hopefully get rid of the 920 error message. So now you're going to want to go to this link that will be in the description, which is the projectvictor.org/noflow-devsetup/html/main.html, which will be used to connect vector to our Wi-Fi network. Okay, so now on the vector side of things, what you want to do is completely power off your vector. Hold the button until the screen goes black. There. And now hold the power button as he turns on to enter recovery mode until the little light on the back turns red or blue. It really depends. I don't know. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's red. I think red means dev though. You might have to do this a few times. It doesn't always go into recovery mode. When you need it to, of course, just power them off again. Then hold it down 15 seconds till the light turns red. Yeah, it should disappear for a bit. And it will reappear. Yep, come on. Yep, there, now it's blue. Now, if we look at vector's screen, it will be a different menu to your normal recovery mode menu because this is running a custom software already called Wire OS, made by our lovely Wire. And here we'll see a few options. So what the option we want is called Start Vector Processes right at the very top. All we need to do is press the power button on Vector once, and then again to confirm. Now we wait 3 seconds for him to go into recovery mode. He's starting himself. There. Now we can see this menu. So he is vector Z2C2. Now what we do is we double click his top button, his power button, and it should show a key symbol. Now on our computer, what we need to do on this website is click the pair with vector button, make sure your Bluetooth is on, and then select your vector from this list that will pop up. So that is going to be Z2C2. Select connect. Sometimes this takes a few tries because, I don't know, my computer's Bluetooth card is pretty bad. But sometimes it loads forever, sometimes it doesn't load. Let's see how many tries this takes. If it does connect though, you'll see on Vector screen that the hashtags under the key symbol will be replaced with numbers. So let's try reload the page. Yeah, it's reloaded. Let's see if Vector is still showing that. Perfect. Now we click pair with Vector. Go to our Vector, connect. Now we wait again. Sometimes it helps moving your Vector closer to your computer. Let's try again. Pair with a vector. Vector Z2C2. Let's try going into that pairing menu once again. Oh, he reset, that's why. Yeah, he's back to the ANKI screen. Now we double click the power button again. Yeah, that shows the key. Go to pair with vector, select our vector. Hopefully it should work this time. Yes. Now we are prompted to enter a code. That code will be displayed on our vector screen. So 193140. 193140. And we want to leave this checkbox unchecked. So enable auto setup flow must be off. Then we click enter pin. And we will be greeted with a terminal. So now we're at a terminal-like menu where we can enter commands into our vector. So what we're gonna enter is Wi-Fi. Oh, we gotta click on the actual screen. We gotta enter Wi-Fi dash connect. Then we're gonna enter our Wi-Fi's SSID and our Wi-Fi's password. Of course, I'm not gonna show these, but I'll show you the result when I've done that. So now it will say Wi-Fi state online. That means you're connected. You can now close this window. Okay, so now that our vector is connected to Wi-Fi, what we're gonna do is raise his lift up. So like this, be careful with the exposed head. Okay, you might want to move it out the way. No, that didn't do it. Gotta raise it higher. Gotta hold the head in place. Oh no, you gotta first double press the button and then raise it up and down. Yeah, that will enter the CCIS menu or customer care information screen. And from there, you raise and lower your lift up again one more time to exit. Back to, oh no, you have to do it again. Not exit. You go in there, Then you have to lift up your vector and spin his left track until the arrow is next to back to menu. Place him back down on the charger. Oh no, it went back to exit. God damn it. And now raise and lower the lift one more time. Okay, so now we're back at the recovery menu. What we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll with the left tank tread of vector down to the very bottom until the arrow is next to install latest wire OS. And we're gonna click the button. And then hopefully we can see the percentage meter go up. Yep, that means we're connected to Wi-Fi and we're installing. Now we wait for it to install. This can take a few minutes. And then we should be good to clear user data and do our first proper boot. Okay, so it's finished now and you'll be prompted with an option to reboot or not. I'll say yes, and then you click the button and it will reboot. We wait for it to reboot. Come on. Come on. Yep. Now you're gonna boot to 920 again because we still haven't cleared user data. Yep, still booting. Come on. You can do it, Vector. It's gonna take a while because it's first boot again. Well, basically, I just replaced his OTA. Yep, should show 920 now. Yes, perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to power him down again. And go into recovery mode by holding down the button for 15 seconds. Until the blue light comes on. Or red light. I don't know which one it is this time. Come on. There we go, it's blue. Okay, now we're back in the recovery menu. What we want to do is lift up vector a little. Then scroll down by 1 to clear user data, which is the second one from the top. And then click the button and confirm. Now he's rebooting with a cleared user data, and hopefully he should just boot perfectly fine. I'll hold up the screen a little so you guys can see. Oh, you can hear Vector dancing in the background. Great. Come on. Yes. There. You should show a home below power icon now. Yep, that means he detects his mechanical head. And hopefully he boots. Come on. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. Wow, this is taking longer than expected. Usually this step is really fast, but maybe this is a good sign. Yeah. Oh, never mind, he just turned straight off. Let's turn him back on. It might help to put something like a screwdriver into this little gear back here that drives his head for a second. That'll make him detect his head, like mechanically. Let's see if it works this time. Okay, he's booting up again. Okay, I put in the screwdriver just to stop the gear. There. He still might show the symbol, but we'll see. Yep, he still does. Let's see if he actually goes past it this time. Come on. His backpack light is flashing white, which is interesting. I've never seen that before. Go back into his CCIS and attempt to hang from there. Oh, he's not connected. Oh yeah, he's not connected to the internet. That makes sense. Okay, let's see if he actually boots. Got a black screen. This isn't much, but it's better than nothing. Still see that it's lit up with the backlight. And he turned off again. Time to troubleshoot. Okay, so I troubleshooted the issue and turns out it was just a one-off thing that happened a few times. I know, right? And yeah, we're now at the screen. It's done. Everything works. The camera works. The screen works. Everything is fine. All we have to do now is connect it to WirePod, which we will do in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.